as it is presented to us, somehow, I would say, we still don't make use of it, somehow. In fact, very often when people are told they have a terminal situation and stuff, they really start to live. How can you live more? You cannot live more. You cannot have more hours to live. It's not. But something brings you to that place internally where you're so heightened in awareness. It stimulates at such a deep level that it's like you just walk out of your old self. When sometimes we have shocking news or something, you got diabetes is one thing. Myself, I don't carry this message inside me. Not because, I don't want to have this. It's not really that important. It's important enough to stimulate a change in the way that I take food now. And I find it's not as difficult as I would have imagined, changing over from this to that. Well, when you actually have to do it and you accept it, actually it's not that difficult. One finds. And there's something very, very sober in coming to understand that we are, you can say, three aspected. You have a physical form aspect, which is very much time bound. And then you have the mind also, which sometimes they say the mind, the ways of the mind are ancient, but you are timeless. Ways of the mind are ancient, but yourself is timeless. So our inmost being is timeless. Now we may have heard these things, you are eternal and so on, but in your life it hasn't really spoken in that way. But being guided through the steps and the stages of inquiry, true inquiry or introspection of your attention, does reveal that actually. It does reveal that inside, where you come to that place, which is not just merely a thought or an understanding, but it is a direct knowing, whereby you can verify, you can confirm it is so. It cannot be other than this. You come to that seeing. This is why so much I point you to inquiry. What can be done about making the best use of the life? I cannot think of anything more than knowing who you are. I cannot think of anything more. Someone say, look, I'm going to guarantee you another 100 years. 100 years, I give you 100 years. Oh, thank you. For some people, it will be 100 more years of suffering. We want to somehow get it right at the level, which I would say at the conceptual level that we presently perceive life to be, hoping that it gets a bit better or something. But life happens in here. It doesn't happen just outside, it happens in here. We can see that you can put 5 people in front of a fire, open fire, and sit around singing songs. And each of them may report very differently what their experience is. The fire is just a fire. It's not even burning for you. It is just a fire. But each will take from that their own experience. So your experience is your life. And it is how it is tasted inside your own self. Then who will have the correct interpretation? Well, no interpretations are true. And every perception is a form of interpretation. This is natural up to a point. So your life is actually here. This is why someone could be traveling around the world, all over, and still inwardly not really come into a profound understanding about life. And take another person who maybe is living in a cardboard box and never leave their own village, but their mind is universal. Because it happens in here, how you are. And if life is not showing this and confirming this, then we need a shake-up call or something, because it cannot be that you can make your life outside and it works. It cannot just work. It has never worked. For a while we may enjoy, but it will never deeply satisfy. Your satisfaction will be something that happens inside you. This is the whole gift, potential, possibility of what you may call a spiritual life. It points you inwardly. For a while our energies are going outwardly to say, well, if I get this, and if I get that, and if I get that, and if I get married by the time I'm 25, and if I have my children, and if we have our own house, if we have our own this, and if I got enough job, and if I'm accepted by all the people who I know and I love them and we get on fine, this is enough for me. I say it's a very poor deal. Don't sign that contract. Don't. Aspire to be free inside your own being. Aspire that. Because we're making the wrong decisions so often. We're settling for so little because this life is so magnificent in what it offers. And yet we always think that we choose the best things for ourselves based upon our conditioning. There's so much. I don't even want to say much more, because for me life doesn't have to be more. It doesn't have to more of what? I can't be more of me. People talk about more, so often our attention is somehow spread outwardly and we're in an acquiring sort of like mode. But when you turn your attention and discover, not things, it's not things, is how well you are in the absence of things, without relying and without desiring and without clinging and without attachment. And you come into a space inside and you are complete. After this you can say, then you can enjoy this. Sure, I enjoy this as well. I enjoy this as well, because this also is a reflection of this. And here determines actually how that will be felt. Yes. So if I had the chance, my daughter is here, I can say, suppose I could give her, 10 million pounds, and or I could impart in somehow to her that understanding of who and what she is in her own experience. There's nothing to compare at all. I would not want to do something so terrible as to give her 30 million pounds. It would be a terrible thing to do. I'd rather that she knows it actually, that she understands, and she does understand more and more the value of just your own self, just knowing yourself. Be free inside your own.